What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Bench Warmers. My name is JJT with Komish Eric Komish. It's time to dissect the schedule for week 5. It's that time of the week. Talk about the schedule. We posted the schedule already in our website, on our Facebook page, so you can check that out as well. But in case you don't have the time and you just want to listen in, we don't mind as well. So let's talk about it. There's a first here for week 5. Our first time wherein a team will have 5 games. And that's going to be
Is it the first time?
Yeah, I think so. Was there been a 5-game schedule? No, I don't think there's been a team.
I think there was. I'm not too sure, but yeah, it's very rare. But
first time this year, this season.
Yeah, maybe first time this season. Yes, yeah. Yes.
So we have one team with 5-game schedule. That's San Antonio Spurs, and there could be some good streamers out there for this team. But also on the flip side, there are a lot more teams with just 2 games, and this is going to be,
teams,
I guess, right? The 4 teams with 2 games.
Yeah.
And this will probably be the more problematic part of next week's schedule.
Yeah, that is something that's very rare, no, to see four teams. The good news about these 4 teams, for the Lakers, if you own LeBron, I mean, he's injured, or you own Harden, at least you won't miss as much, right? This is perfect for you if you own those injured guys, because you're gonna miss minimum number of games only. For them. But for Minnesota or Chicago, there's a lot of top-end players among these 4 teams, actually. You're going to see DeRozan, Vucevic, Levine, AD, Kat, Gobert, Embiid. So there would be a lot of teams affected next season, next week.
Yeah.
Because of this schedule. Yeah.
So it's Chicago, the Lakers, Minnesota, and Philly with 2 games, and then San Antonio with 5 games, and then the rest are pretty much spread out. There will be 10 teams with 4 games, and the rest of the teams with 3 games each. So it can be bad for you. It can be bad.
It can, but the good news is it can also be that your top first round player has 2 games, but your opponent also has a lot of players with 2 games. So it might balance out. So what you can just do is try to stream very well the Spurs player smartly, and maybe try to load up on some Spurs players already if you can, early on.
If you're at this point, if your match are pretty much set, you're losing already, you don't have a chance, as much of a chance, you might want to pick up some of the Spurs guys. We'll talk about them later, just to be first on them. Before the other teams get them, right? The good news is, in case that you don't like your schedule, there'll be enough days to stream games, because there will be 3 quality game days: the Wednesday Manila time, Friday, and Sunday. 5 games on Wednesday, 3 games on Friday, and 5 games on Sunday. So more chances to stream for you.
More chances to stream. And again, overall, the number of games this week is less. As you can see, there's only 2 double-digit days. It's not even 13 or 15, it's 10 and 11. The thing here is, as we said last week, on the opposite end, if you have less games, smaller sample size, you might be able to pull through with if even if your top players only have 2 or 3 games this week, because maybe your opponent's player can have a bad game. It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah. So 3 quality game days, and let's see in a bit which teams would have the best schedule when it comes to quality game days. Back-to-backs, there's also a lot of teams with back-to-backs. San Antonio, of course, leads all the teams with 2 sets of back-to-backs. That's Tuesday and Wednesday, and then another one on Sunday, Monday. So it's really they really have the best schedule when it comes to streaming, and then the rest is pretty much spread out. But there will be a lot more teams with back-to-back. That means if you stream, you have to stream smartly and maybe pick some players from these teams when you are
Yes.
trying to win your matchup.
And
I'm just looking at the list. Which of these teams have good streaming players when it comes to back-to-backs, right? The Clippers might have a few, right?
yeah,
Dallas might not have any. New Orleans, maybe. The Knicks, maybe, right?
yeah.
Detroit, not many streamers from the Detroit Pistons.
Well,
Who else?
the Detroit Pistons. I think the thing there you have to consider is that Cade is gonna be out for probably the whole week. So you probably can stream Killian Hayes this early, or Alec Burks maybe. They also had their injured players come back, like Bagley and Burks, as I said. So they're healthy aside from Cade. So there might be some more options there. It's just choosing the right option.
Yeah.
If Duren was dropped, if you need big men stats, yeah, Duren. But for me, Killian Hayes is the best option there in Detroit.
All right, so that's gonna be rare because Killian is not really one of our favorites, but because of his annoying stats, but he's been pretty good so far.
And he started today. He started today for Cade. Corey Joseph went back to the bench, so that's another positive development for his fantasy value.
Yeah.
Killian. Yeah.
Indiana, Orlando, Philly. That's a Saturday to Sunday back to back, and Utah. There could be some streamers there, particularly with Philly, who missed Melton today. I'm not sure if he's gonna miss more time. I'm not even sure if Embiid plays back to back, so you'll have to wait and see there. So there could be some players there. Cleveland,
Before, are we done with the back to backs?
Yeah, almost, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Before we go to the best streaming players, I think we can also look at the teams with 2 games. They're not the same. No, they're not the same. The breakdown of their games are not the same. For instance, I think if you own Philly and Lakers players, they have a 4-day. They won't play in the first 4 days of the week.
Yeah.
So if you own, let's say, Lonnie Walker or Daniel House, or players who are not really must own, you might have to drop them at the start of the week.
Yeah.
And then just add them back if you want later on the week 5.
So that's a good important to note as well, because you might be waiting for your games and then it might be too late before you realize that they won't have a game until what day is that? Saturday. For Philly.
Saturday, yes. Until Saturday. Imagine not having Embiid or AD until Saturday. Then that's gonna be really tough for your team, to bounce back on. Compared to, let's say, if you own Chicago, they have a game on Thursday already, so at least they'll have a game in the first half, they'll game in the second half. Minnesota is the same thing. So Lakers and the Sixers, for me, makes it tough to own. I don't know who else there. Whoever you picked up that you think that is
Troy
borderline.
Brown Jr.
Yeah, Troy Brown, definitely not.
I mean, there's really not much players you should hold there. Maybe if there's low end players you would be holding, those are the Meltons, who are not even low end. They're good fantasy players, but currently injured. So that might also be good for you because they'll take additional rest and they might play that late weak games, right? So those are the back-to-backs. Are we talking about the defensive ratings? There's some changes when it comes to the worst defensive ratings. Boston entered the mix, and the Magic, Orlando Magic, which is weird because Boston should be known for their defense. This might just
Yeah.
be some I don't know, how do you call this? Some blip or
Aberration. Fluke.
some fluke.
But
Yeah.
I think Robert Williams' absence has also affected them a little. They've changed the rotation a little. They're playing so small, so that also has affected the rating part. But the good thing here is like it changes fast so far early in the season. Like Brooklyn was the worst just a couple of weeks ago. They're now out of the top 10. So that's the change in coach, the effect in the change in coach. So I think this. But what one thing I'm seeing is that in the offensive pace side, it's been very steady. The Warriors,
Mhm.
they've always been there. The Warriors, the Spurs, the Pacers, so they've been there. They've been consistently there. So these teams are really teams that you have to consider as good matchups for your players.
All right. So now let's talk about um, some. Let's talk about the best streaming targets.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have San Antonio, of course, like we said, 3 quality game days. They'll be playing in the 3 quality days. The Clippers will also be playing the 3 quality days, and the Portland Trailblazers. These 3 teams will have games on the 3 quality days. So if you're gonna be streaming someone, these 3 teams might be your best target to make sure that you'll be able to use them.
Especially the Spurs.
All right, the Spurs. The Spurs is going to be the most interesting one because they have some players there. You've talked about Charles Bassey yesterday. I think that was yesterday, right? Wherein we talked about him before yesterday.
Yes.
But yesterday he had another great game in 18 minutes, I think. And he is probably the top target when it comes to streaming. I know the minutes are not as many, but the per minute stats are nice for someone who plays just 18 minutes.
And if you have 5 games of that, even if you just get 7 rebounds and 2 blocks a game, those are gonna be matchup changing stats.
Yeah,
I think for Charles Bassey, and also a player like, let's say, Josh Richardson, who has slowed down. It's been inconsistent up and down, but I think with 5 games you can play the odds there. The thing with the Spurs is last year when they had 5 games, they rested players. Actually, I remember it was DeJounte who got rested twice, I think, among the 5 games. So I'm thinking Vassell and Keldon won't play the 5 games. So early on, if you have, like, let's say, Dog McDermott, adding him in on Monday, there's extra goodies there, because if Keldon or Vassell gets rested, even better. But even if they don't get rested, just the sheer number of games can give you, like, I wrote 15 to 18 threes, maybe even more for McDermott. So yeah.
So
Pop.
yeah, the main guys could probably, I mean, add maybe Jakob to the mix there if they suddenly feel like he needs some rest. Jakob could be another player because those are the 3 top guys. Those are their 3 top guys. Those are the 3 guys. But Trey's a lower end guy. They could they can choose just to play him. But the top 3 guys, they're the veterans there as well. They could choose to rest those guys, right?
Well, Vassell and Keldon are. It's funny to hear them as veterans because Vassell's just what, 3rd year or
Yeah,
second
but
year?
they're
the
top
veterans.
guys, right? I mean, the veterans like Josh Richardson could also rest some games. I mean,
Yes.
it can
Could
also
also rest.
happen,
That's true.
right? But
That's
they're
true.
top guys. I'm pretty sure they might. They're especially Keldon. I think missed some games, right?
And Vassell.
And Vassell
Vassell
missed
also missed some games.
some games
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago. So in a 5 game schedule, they might just rest. I'm not saying they will, but they might. So Bassi, Doug McDermott, Jeremy Sohan, right?
Yeah,
Those
Sora,
guys
Jeremy Sohan.
could be good streams for the week. Bassi should not be available already. I think I've checked out the FBW leagues. He's
They
not there
listen.
anymore. He's not there
They,
anymore.
they,
They know,
they
they know. I
listen.
mean,
They
even
know.
the other analysts like Josh Lloyd, they've been saying to add him just because they have 5 games, right? If you have players like Gobert who will only have 2 games, I think it's a good add already. He gets,
Agree.
Gobert's not doing much anyway, rebounding. I mean, he's just rebounding 7, 8 rebounds per game these days, right? And that's a good addition already. The others, Clippers, would have 3 quality game days, although they only have 4 games.
But actually, for me, after the Spurs, the Clippers have the next best schedule. Again, it's just that, we can just record our Clippers bit in this schedule episodes because they're always here. Um, I don't know what they did to the schedule makers that they are always in the quality days. The good news is, like the Spurs, there are a lot of ways, a lot of players in the Clippers that you can really also look at.
Yeah.
Luke Kennard is back. I mean, I'm not. I'm sure Kawhi won't be ready next week. Not next week. I think. So Luke is starting. Luke Kennard is starting. He's available in some leagues. So he's a good stream if you need some 3 pointers. No,
Yeah.
I'm sure Reggie Jackson is another player who could be available in some leagues. Although the percentage is scary, Reggie Jackson, but with if you just need counting stats, yeah, he might help you.
Other guys, Norm Powell. I see Norm Powell in the waivers in a lot of leagues already just
Pick him up.
because
Yeah.
of the early season struggles. I think Norm has slowly picked it up. I'm not sure if you're noticing, but I think he's had 3 straight double figure points games, and then he contributed a bit more on the stocks, and so he could be someone that you should be adding, not just for as a streamer, but maybe hold a little bit longer to see where that goes.
Yeah.
Portland has only 3 games and all on quality game days, so this could be good for players like Dame,
It's
Simons,
good.
because these are
Yes.
not back-to-back games. They'll
Yes.
probably be playing. Jeremy Grant is so hot right now. I mean, he has another 30-point game today. So
Yes.
and they're playing well. Steamers though, not many. Winslow could be your option, but Winslow missed today's game, so that's not a sure bet, I guess.
I don't have any for Portland because, as you said, Winslow is the only bet there. Shadon Sharp is probably the next best one. I think Nurkic is ready to come back. He was already questionable, a game time decision a while ago and didn't play, so he might be ready there. So that removes Eubanks from the equation. So, but if Nurkic does miss a game more, Eubanks is somebody you can go to.
Yeah, so Portland, not many there. And then the other teams with 2 quality game days are Utah, Sacramento, and Brooklyn. So Seth, like Kabish said, could be a very interesting piece there. And of course, if I don't think they have a back to back. Do they have a back to back? Brooklyn does not have a back to back. So
No back to
there
back.
is a chance that Seth plays all all their games this
And
week.
And it's a good schedule: Sacramento, Portland, and Memphis. So those 3 teams are good matchups for them. So Brooklyn is another team that's a winner here for next week.
Yeah, so 2 quality game days. Utah and Sacramento also have 2 quality game days. So not many other streamers there. Malik Beasley maybe in Utah. I've seen him
Walker
in
Kessler.
Walker Kessler if you need big man
He
stats.
didn't play well today, but he's been playing better as of late, so he's somebody you can consider. The schedule of Utah they have a lot of breaks in between. They have stronger, more games the back of week 5 until week 6. So take that into consideration also.
Yeah. So there. That's the schedule for the week. Anything else, Komish, you want to tell our viewers to remember?
Just to point out some things here. We said San Antonio Clippers top 2 schedules. For the non-streaming parts, I didn't put it there anymore, but I like the schedule of Indiana. Although they only have 3 games, a very easy 3 games. But also one thing to note with Indiana, they have a 2-day break, 3-day break actually before they play. So they're very backloaded also. So the Andrew Nemhards, the other streamers, you can stream them later on the week, but they have very easy schedule. And then Charlotte, another thing I want to mention is Charlotte. They have a very good schedule this week. 4 games: Orlando, Indiana, Cleveland, and Washington. And LaMelo is back, so should help LaMelo balls. Your LaMelo balls. I'm sure Jeremy's happy. Should help him ease back.
Not yet. He's had a not so good game today, but yeah.
Yeah, but the point is, it's gonna ease him back well. Matchups against Orlando and Indiana, that's always gonna help. Against Washington, and it's every other day. So they have 4 games, but on every other day. That's gonna help. You're not gonna miss LaMelo. Should not miss LaMelo next week. There's no back-to-backs for Charlotte. So those are just the 2 teams that I want to mention here.
All right. So that's the schedule analyzer for week 5, guys. Hope that helped. If you have, if you can't catch up, we've posted this in our website, fantasybenchwarmers.com, or follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/fantasybenchwarmers. So you can read all of these stuff there as well. All right. That's it for this episode. We'll see you guys again on the next one. Bye.